Good morning, YouTube. Arizona RE here, cruising through downtown Shiloh. And, yeah, looking for a place that hopefully I can recharge my batteries. I've got the chargers on the bike, but unless I'm riding the bike, they don't charge. And I can only charge one at a time, so that's what I'm looking for, a place where I can maybe get some breakfast and, you know, like going, but it's not likely here in Shiloh they're going to have an internet cafe. So I'm thinking, first place I ride by that smells like bacon, I'm stopping. Come on, you can do it. Right-hand turns are done all the time. Well, now I know Sonic has breakfast. I'd like to eat local, but I'm going to be riding out of town all day. So, not sure I want to eat local. Let's see, Elements Cafe and Bistro. Those places all look promising. Sweetheart Cafe. Says it's open. Carpet and tile. Aunt Nancy's Restaurant. Aunt Nancy's. Well, if that doesn't sound homey and inviting, what does? I mean, I've never had a bad Aunt Nancy, but at the same time, I've never had an Aunt Nancy, so. Ooh. Wow. They really want to know. They really want you to know when you're coming out of the main lane, don't they? So, looks like Aunt Nancy's it is. Aunt Nancy. Aunt Nancy. Let's go see what Aunt Nancy has for us. Aunt Nancy's $1.99 breakfasts. I'm not a $1.99er, but I wonder if I can get two breakfasts. Breakfasts is Aunt Nancy, you almost lost a customer just because I don't want to drop my bike. Alright, Aunt Nancy's it is. Aunt Nancy's was a win. It was a big win. I ended up going with the country fried steak and eggs, which was exceptionally yummy. And just wow. Exceptionally yummy. They still made their fried potatoes the old-fashioned way, you know, where they sort of stick to the skillet a little bit. These lights are really short cycles. So I've had my breakfast. I gotta go gas up and faff around with the cameras, so I'm gonna go do that, and I'll pop back on when we make our way up towards the Petrified National Forest. Hearty breakfast fill up. Had Snow White get her fill up, and now we are going to be on our way to Heber in the Apache Sitgraves National Forest, or Apache Sitgraves National Monument. So there should be some good looking roads up ahead, and more of these beautiful tall pine trees and rolling meadows. and lots of scenic stuff. So as we get closer and we get some other stuff that's a little more interesting for the visual, I'll go ahead and switch back on. Wow, look at this place. Look at how green everything is. Can you guys believe this is Arizona? So I'm on Arizona State Route 260 from Show Low to Heber in the Apache Sitgraves National Monument. Just look at these ranches. Wow. Just these beautiful farm properties that, you know, I know guys like Sean Smoke and others, they see this stuff all the time up there in the Pacific Northwest, but just wow. And I like the painted white fence, you know, it stands out and marks the property, but it also, it looks good, man. Everything looks homey and clean and comfy. I dig it. Man, wouldn't you just like to own some of this property? Holy cow. Elk Anus, next 30 miles. That's a lot of elk anus. As opposed to yesterday, which was absolutely brilliantly perfect riding weather. I mean, the highs were in the low 70s at the highest, and there was no wind. I mean, it was calm as could be. So you were cool. You were making your own wind. Today, temperature's right, but there's a bit of a breeze today. 20-mile-an-hour gusts. Not so bad considering what we've been getting in Tucson recently. You know, those 21-mile-an-hour sustained winds, followed by 35 to 40-mile-an-hour gusts. Gotta watch where I'm going. Man, I just want to look at the landscape so much. I realize a lot of you folks see this stuff all the time, but it's just amazing to me. I cannot even tell you, just all the pines. Oh, fantastic. Still on our way up to Heber. But something that struck me as funny the last couple days in Show Low, and I've gone to a couple of restaurants, the local eateries. I've tried to hit local eateries, and you know, normally when you're on the road you try to go with what you know, which is one of the reasons why McDonald's was always so successful, because they're what they make is universally similar. If you go to a McDonald's in Illinois, it's more or less going to be the same as McDonald's products and service in Arizona or California or wherever. So a lot of people will rely on that sort of thing for stability, you know. It's predictability, and it's always a crapshoot when you do a local establishment someplace that you've never been. But you know, this is one of those things I wanted to give that a shot. Well, I went to a couple of local establishments, and interesting the response I got for the motorcycle. Now keep in mind, the folks up here, this is a real rural area. I mean, I think Show Low's got, I don't know what their population is. I think it's less than 20,000. The Show Low, Pinetop, Payson, you combined all of those commuting areas, you might have 50,000 total. I'm not sure on that, but it seems like that's about right. But at any rate, you know, it's a very laid-back lifestyle, very country, very conservative, and it was just interesting because I've seen lots of motorcycles up here. Most of them have been Harleys or metric cruisers, your garden variety cruisers. You know, chrome and paint and shiny paint and everything else. Nothing wrong with those. You guys know I like those bikes, so I'm not bagging on them. I'm just saying that's been primarily what I have observed around here. Well, as I as I park and go in somewhere, I'll notice people will start, everyone that walks out of the restaurant or in the restaurant or by the motorcycle will stop and look at it and just like stare at it. Now I'm used to that happening with my Royal Enfield. Hell, I have people following me, waiting for me to pull over so they can ask me questions about my Royal Enfield. You guys have seen that. If you haven't, go back and watch that video, Royal Enfield Stalker. But people seem to have a real interest in this motorcycle, and I couldn't get it. I just don't understand. So I was speaking to the waitress, who also made note that everybody kept going out and looking at my motorcycle. And so I asked her, I said, so do you guys not see many bikes like that around here? And she says, oh no, you know, those motorcycles like that are pretty sharp and fancy. We don't have anything like that around here. I said, well, what mostly do you have around here? And she says, you know, Harley Davidsons and bikes like that. And I said, well, there's really nothing special about that bike other than it's mine. She goes, oh no, that's a very nice looking bike. And I was like, you realize, I mean, that bike costs a third of what a Harley Davidson does. So it was funny to me. I mean, part of it may be because I'm dressed like a stormtrooper. Insert photo here. You know, with my touring jacket and my armored gloves and all the body armor in my jacket. You know, the jacket's also got a kidney press or kidney belt for extra support. And you know, of course, my helmet, the scheme on my helmet is similar to that of the jacket and the bike. I didn't set out to make them all match. When I got the discount on the helmet for purchasing the bike at the same shop that provided the helmet, it was for a specific brand, and this was the only HJC helmet I thought would look right with this bike. But at any rate, so maybe it's that, I don't know. It's not like I'm wearing an all matching leather jumpsuit, you know. It's not very European styling what I'm doing here. So I just thought that was interesting, and I would share that with you guys, because I've never seen so much interest in a little bike like this. You know, this is really a very nondescript motorcycle. Not a sport bike, not a cruiser, not a lot of chrome. In fact, there's no chrome on it. The pipe is polished stainless, but there's no chrome on it that I can think of, except for maybe the Honda nameplate. At any rate, I just thought I'd throw that in there on this little ride to Heber, Arizona. Wow, Bison Ranch looks pretty cool. Welcome to Heber and Apache Sitgraves. Wow, look at those cabins. I just love the look of this place, man. I just cannot get over it. Everything is so appealing to the eye, even the apartment complexes and townhomes, which I normally wouldn't consider working in. Is that a caboose? Sure looked like it. Lots of pretty towns up here in northern Arizona. Huh. Got a pair. One's slightly larger than the other. Go figure.